Everyone. The time is 7:01, and I'd like to call this District 204 regular action meeting to order. Marilyn, would you please call the roll?
Member Alvarez.
Present.
Member Vita Daniels. Present. Member Dillon.
Here.
Member Giannotti Fry.
Present.
Member Gretsch.
Here.
Member Struing. Here. Member Thomas.
Here.
Great. All right, let's please rise for the Pledge of Allegiance. I pledge allegiance
To the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Thank you very much. All right. Before we get started, is there a motion to approve the agenda as presented, please?
So moved.
Second.
Thank you. All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? All right. Then we'll kick off with public participation. Marilyn, do we have anyone signed up?
We do.
Okay, great. As is the case with all our meetings, there are two opportunities for public participation. The first is for individuals who signed up prior to the meeting, and for those who wish to speak during our second opportunity at the end of the meeting, please see Mary Lynn Muscolino, who's just outside the room, and fill out a blue form. Please understand that the board appreciates hearing from our community, but cannot engage in dialogue or discussion during our meeting. If there is a comment that requires follow-up, the appropriate administrator will respond at a later time. In accordance with Board Policies 2230 and 830, we appreciate you limiting your comments to 3 minutes and for keeping tonight's meeting respectful and civil. Marilyn, would you please call our first speaker?
Becky Lawrenson.
Hello, everybody. I'm here tonight, Becky Lorenzen, member of Community Diversity Group. Am I supposed to say my address? Anyway, I live in LaGrange. So I just am here tonight to thank the board members, especially those who are retiring after this meeting, because I'm not going to be here next week for the celebration. Particularly Michael Thomas and all the work that he's done to move the district forward. Paula Struing and Jill Gretsch, I really appreciate all of the efforts that you all have made to make the community more inclusive and the school more inclusive. And the other thing that, and also thank you to those board members who are staying on and all of the other staff and administrators who've moved the school forward so that it's more inclusive for everybody. The other thing I'll just mention is Community Diversity Group has been doing some work with the whole community and executive leadership and board members of different organizations in the community. And a couple people who were involved originally cannot make it. So if you're interested in attending a meeting with Crossroads on May 1st, which is a Thursday, and you're a board member or executive leadership and you didn't get an invitation, see Carrie or Jen Rowe or email LaGrange Diversity, and we would love to have some more representation at that meeting. Thank you.
Thank you.
Fred Whiting.
Good evening. This is regarding the consideration for the new superintendent contract. I want you all to reference Illinois Statute Chapter 105, Section 5/1023.8. No performance-based contract shall be extended or rolled over prior to its scheduled expiration unless all the performance and improvement goals contained in the contract have been met. Okay? These rules should be adhered to. There's many that seem to get skipped. Of the 5 goals in the superintendent contract, 4 are clearly not met. Goal 1, the academic achievement, there's chronic absenteeism. When Waterman started, it was 6.4%, went up gradually through the years. In 2024, it's 23%. Also radically implemented grading, testing, and homework policies that had to be revised and reversed. Goal 2, safe schools. Mismanagement threats resulting in student beatings and lawsuits against the school. 2022, there was a lawsuit for $140,000. There's currently a pending lawsuit for attempted murder. That's going to likely cost the school well over $1 million. That's my prediction. Goal 4. This is the most obvious one. Improve communication with all district stakeholders. Where Waterman repeatedly broke the law and willingly deceived his constituents for close to a year, all the while secretly conspiring to destroy the Pleasantdale feeder district with industrial. This resulted in 2 significant Attorney General decisions confirming this illegal behavior. Goal 5, maintaining healthy financial position. There's been a 19% increase in revenue in the 2 years from 21 to 23, while enrollment dropped by 202 students. In 21, it was $84 million at 21,000 per student. In 23, it was $100 million at 27 per student. That's a 26% increase in revenue per student in 2 years. The revenue isn't the problem. The efficient use of it is. Then there is the $48,000 contract Brian signed without board approval, no open meeting discussion or vote on it, to hire a public relations consultant to help spin the land debacle. Student enrollment is likely to continue to significantly drop further since many parents are no longer comfortable with the hyper-partisan politics he is practicing at the school. This statute was violated just after the previous election, where it was clear Waterman and the entire board, minus Tim Alvarez, had repeatedly broken the law over a period of 8 months. Yet there was an unanimous vote, including Tim, to renew his contract a full 2 years earlier in 2023. Immediately
Thank you,
following
Mr.
that
Whiting.
vote, the AG's office released a binding opinion confirming what everyone knew.
Mr. Whiting,
Yes.
time is up.
Well, I want to finish because there's no one behind me and this is an important subject, okay? If you don't mind. I have
minute.
like less than a minute to go. Now 5 of the same people who violated the statute last time, 4 being co-conspirators, and you know who you are considering violating the same statute again, violating it. But this time there are 2 Attorney General decisions confirming the illegal behavior, along with the other shortcomings mentioned. Then there is Board Policy 3.40, Superintendent Qualifications. The superintendent must be of good character and of unquestionable morals and integrity. The superintendent shall have the experience and skills necessary to work effectively with the board, district, students, and the community. Per his own words, his relationship with Pleasantdale community are napalmed. And there is the repeated lying of the surveying the entire community to generate the supposed requirement for facilities upgrades. A FOIA requested who and the number surveyed resulted in confessing they didn't know. Yet the fallback is the 66 people who attend a quarterly CAC meeting. Since Waterman and Dillon initiated this deception, there have been 10 different
Mr.
board
Whiting,
members, 4
you've gone
presidents,
far
and a
beyond.
new law firm.
Thank
This
you
charade
for your
cost
comments.
taxpayers thousands of dollars.
Mr. Whiting.
in appropriate.
Thank you for your comments.
No.
You've gone
one
far beyond.
last thing, because you're a co-conspirator. The time has long passed since an apology is due. And you all know it, and you owe the community an apology. You owe the whole district an apology.
Thank you.
Andrew Johannes.
Your
Andrew
current
Johannes.
compensation is well over $330,000 with 40 personal paid days and speaking engagement.
Mr.
This
Johannes,
board
you
owes
can
it
come
to the
up to the
public
podium.
tonight
Thank
to
you.
describe the details of the new contract. Any decision on Waterman's contract
Your time is up.
should be left to the new board, not the co-conspirators and Alvarez who violated it last time.
Thank you.
Quoting the
Andrew
new
Johannes.
Your time is,
Elias Lopez.
Mr. Whiting, your time is
If you
up.
break the law, you should be held
Your
accountable.
time
Don't you all
is
agree with that?
up.
Your time should be up.
Mr. Johannes,
As it is,
thank you.
obviously.
Well, on that note, good evening, members of the board, administration, and community. On behalf of the Lyons Township Education Association, I hope everyone had a restful spring break and a joyful holiday weekend. As we return, we now begin our sprint toward AP testing and the end of what has been another incredible school year. Congratulations to our new board members. We wish the very best as they begin their service. And to President Jill Gretsch, Michael Thomas, and Paul String, thank you for your dedication and leadership. The teachers of LT are deeply grateful for your commitment to providing an excellent education for all students. Our partnership has resulted in an exemplary rating by the state. We hope and believe this can continue. We are currently experiencing a lot of instability and chaos. In addition, many minority groups are being blamed for issues that are caused by misguided decisions. As educators, we believe in celebrating the diversity that makes our community strong. We reject hate in all of its forms, and we hope to see an end to the troubling trend of targeting vulnerable groups. Our strength comes from embracing and honoring one another's unique qualities. We thank Dr. Rowe for her leadership in this. A few thank yous. We're especially thankful to Mr. Eggerding and the board for supporting summer workshops. These opportunities allow teachers to collaborate, grow, and ultimately enhance the educational experience for every student at LT. We appreciate the steady stewardship of Mr. Sachek. His thoughtful management of district finances ensures a stable and healthy future of our school. A sincere thank you to all the teachers who helped administer the pre-ACT and ACT tests. It is a massive undertaking, and we couldn't do it without their support. A shout out to Christine Zeman and all of our testing team coordinators for their organization and leadership. And then just a few other congratulations. Congratulations to Jason Scales and the entire Lyons staff for continuing to win awards and uphold LT's proud journalistic tradition. This month we celebrate Paraeducator Appreciation Day. We value the essential role our paras play and support them as they work with the district through contract negotiations. It was also School Librarians Day, and we thank Sherry Price and Kristen Regano for their dedication to keeping our students curious and informed. Congratulations to girls basketball head coach Megan Hutchins, who was recently named Coach of the Year by the Illinois Basketball Coaches Association, an incredible and well-deserved honor. Finally, many clubs are wrapping up their seasons, and once again, they're doing so with pride, achievement, and plenty of accolades. Spring sports are in full swing as well. We wish our student athletes the very best for the rest of the season. Thank you as always, and we appreciate your partnership. Thank you.
Thank you.
That concludes public participation.
All right, thank you. So then we'll move into our agenda items, and first we have our student rep report. Emily.
Hi everyone, I hope you all enjoyed the long weekend. It's that time of the year again. Clubs are searching for new leaders, which always brings a wave of nostalgia for our seniors. Seniors are also getting ready for the baccalaureate program, a special tradition that celebrates the end of the year and honors the seniors and their dedication throughout the years. Juniors just power through the ACT, and freshmen are right at the finish line of finishing their first year of high school. And not to forget the sophomores who are buzzing with excitement about finally joining North Campus. Future healthcare professionals spread some spring cheer by delivering Easter-themed goodies to our local first responders. It was a thoughtful gesture to thank them for their hard work and show our appreciation during the season of gratitude. LT Tab has officially submitted the yearbook to their publisher on April 14th at exactly 10:26 p.m. We're all counting down the days until distribution day on May 20th. The yearbook is always a highlight of the year, and we know it's going to be incredible once again. Huge thanks to the team for their creativity, dedication, and countless hours of hard work. On April 17th, LT alum and NFL star Jake Elliott returned to campus to connect with students, share stories from his LT's days, and his journey to the NFL. Students asked questions, and it was an inspiring visit. A great reminder that LT helps pave the way to making our dreams come true. And congratulations to the over 300 members of the class of 2025 who were recently inducted into the LT chapter of NHS and those who received the Presidential Service Awards. That's all for tonight, and thank you for your time.
Thank you. All right. And then we turn to Dr. Waterman for the superintendent report.
I just have two quick items to highlight during the superintendent report. The first one, just the monthly FOIA report. Just reminded in your packet, you'll find the memo that provides the monthly FOIA report since our last meeting in March. And then the second thing, I just want to kind of highlight we're in assessment season. A week ago Friday on the 11th, all juniors took the ACT, which is the first year we've administered the ACT. And then, of course, very soon we will start administering advanced placement exams, which most of our students are excited about, maybe, use that in air quotes. And I think it's just an annual reminder that assessment at the high school level is really a lightning rod. We don't ever want to have an education system that's based solely on a test score, but we also, as a school community, recognize the importance of these exams as it relates to like post-secondary opportunities for all of our students. And really the data also that it provides us as a school when we measure progress and we measure student achievement. So balancing these two, I think, are super important when we look at all of the different assessments that our students take. And so we will administer about 3,000 different exams this spring. And that's a ton of work led by our Coordinator of Assessment and Research, Christine Zeman, all the staff in the Office of Assessment and Research, and then any staff member who proctored an exam, monitored a hallway, checked in a student, prepared a room with the right number of desks. It really does take a village. So just want to thank everyone who makes that happen. So that's all I have for my superintendent report.
Well, we thank them too. That's a huge undertaking, so thank you. Okay, so we'll move into unfinished business now and are going to begin with the consideration of approval for the second reading of the LTHS Summer Extended Contracts. Ed Piotrowski.
Thank you, President Gretsch. Other than one small change, which we noted at the Committee of the Whole meeting, and I will get into in just one second, there are no changes to this recommendation. However, you may recall when we were speaking about special education staff who receive extended summer contract days, we talked about some potential changes within special education to move one of the grouping of days, a 2-day grouping for an inclusion facilitator, and move it into the role of a transition specialist. And I have confirmed with the special education leadership that is exactly what they are looking to do. So on the second page of the memo, in the second paragraph under special education, it highlights this change and talks about what the transition specialist would be focusing on during the summer. They would be focusing on planning and coordinating transition programming for students with disabilities, collecting and analyzing data to monitor progress towards transition goals, collaborating with feeder school districts to support the transition planning process, and working with LT staff and community partners to align services to ensure a smooth transition for our students here at LT. With that change, there's also a slight change in the total amount of dollars that are being recommended. It's actually a change in the positive for the district. It's about $1,000 less now that we have the names of the people who would be filling those roles, where it was just anticipated at the Committee of the Whole meeting. Other than that change, there are no other changes to this recommendation, and I'm happy to answer any questions the board might have.
Anybody have any? Pretty straightforward. Great.
Thank you.
All right, thank you. Can we have a motion to approve the second reading of the LTHS Summer Extended Contracts then as presented?
So moved. Second.
Marilyn, could you please call the roll?
Member Vita Daniels? Yes. Member Dillon?
Yes.
Member Giannotti Frye?
Yes.
Member Strewing?
Yes.
Member Thomas?
Yes.
Member Alvarez?
Yes.
Member Gretsch?
Yes. All right, thanks, Ed.
Thank you.
All right, and next we have consideration of approval of the second reading of the 25-26 additional textbook and instructional materials. Scott Egerting.
Thank you, President Gretsch. We are bringing forward this list of books we discussed at the Committee of the Whole. We have no changes from that meeting. The books behind me on the table have been here in the boardroom since that committee meeting, available for public review. We've had no public members come to take a look at the books. That being said, we have reviewed these books at the administrative level and also at the division level, and would request your approval for their adoption for next year.
Well, we had quite a conversation on all of this last time. I don't know if anybody has any.
No, I did see that you said that nobody came up, but no additional inquiries or feedback or anything from anybody else?
No.
Yeah, I mean, I feel like our discussion was thorough on the last time. I'm definitely in support of moving forward with it.
I would agree. I think you did such a good job presenting it before that we have no questions, it seems.
Yeah. No need to do it again.
All right, then can we please have a motion to approve the second reading of the 25-26 additional textbook and instructional materials as presented?
So moved.
Second.
Could you please call the roll?
Member Dillon?
Yes.
Member Giannotti Frye?
Yes.
Member Struing?
Yes.
Member Thomas?
Yes.
Member Alvarez?
Yes.
Member Peter Daniels?
Yes.
Member Gretch?
Yes. Great. Thanks, Scott.
Thank you.
All right, this concludes our unfinished business, and we'll move into new business. And our first agenda item is the consideration of approval for the new superintendent contract for Dr. Waterman. During the annual superintendent evaluation process, the board determined Dr. Waterman met the performance and improvement goals outlined in his contract and tied to the district's strategic plan. Given the lengthy lead time typically involved in administrator contracts and our desire to ensure thoughtful input from our relatively new legal counsel, a new contract was developed and is presented for approval tonight. This new contract spans from this July through June of 2030, and the tenets of the contract are very similar to the previous one, maintaining the previously approved salary schedule through 2028. The annual salary increase for the remaining 2 contract years can be determined by the board in consultation with the superintendent at that time, but will not be increased less than 3% unless mutually agreed to by the board and superintendent. With that, the recommendation is approval of the contract as presented. I don't know if anybody has any questions, but otherwise.
No questions. It's just that, you know, we really went through and vetted the process, and we had very good conversations discussing about those goals being aligned directly to our strategic plan. So feel really good about where we are. And I will tell you anecdotally, too, from the community, I've heard a lot of really good support, good things as well.
Thanks, Carrie.
Yeah, I think the only thing I would add to that is, as referenced by Andrew, our exemplar rating is not an easy feat to get. We've never been there before. The fact that we're there this year is pretty outstanding. It shows a lot of work and dedication, not only by you and your leadership, by your administrative team and our teachers, support staff all the way down. I think, you know, in looking at our attendance rates, they're not where we want to be, and I don't think we'll ever be satisfied with that. When I look at them compared to our national norms, we're not great, but, you know, I shouldn't say, we are doing well comparatively, but we always want to strive to be better. I think, you know, Surgeon General's warnings about our kids' mental health in these last couple of years is significant, that you have somebody of that stature that are making warning calls, and we're doing nothing but moving our district forward and pushing more social emotional learning support for our students at your leadership, and many of the roles that you take on, I think is, again, to Carrie's point, a testament of what our community is resoundingly saying. And I feel like our discussion at the board level has been intricate, and we feel that your tenure and your value to this community should be noted and renewed.
Well, with that, could we have,
What'd you say?
Second that.
Okay, there you go.
well, can we have a motion then to approve the superintendent contract for Dr. Waterman for the for 2025 through 2030 as presented?
So moved. Second.
Marilyn, could you please call the roll?
Member Giannotti Frye?
Yes.
Member Struing? Yes. Member Thomas?
Yes.
Member Alvarez?
Yes.
Member Peter Daniels? Yes. Member Dillon?
Yes.
Member Gretch?
Yes. Outstanding. So, Dr. Waterman, I did have to write a few things down. As you heard, on behalf of the board, we're thrilled to officially reaffirm our support for your leadership. We are confident in your ability to not only meet, but to exceed the ambitious goals laid out in our strategic plan. And I know we've already heard some thoughts around the table, but I wanted to say that your steady hand, deep commitment to students, and belief in the school community are evident. You are present, thoughtful, and strategic. You listen, lead with intention, and stay laser focused on what matters most, which is creating the best possible experience and outcomes for every student at LT. And as has been mentioned along the way, you know, led us to our first ever exemplary rating, which is no easy feat, like you said. You've shown time and again that your leadership endures across all circumstances, of which there are many in a district this large. And whether navigating a challenge, advancing a new initiative, or celebrating a student's success, you show up with consistency, humility, and purpose. And that kind of leadership is rare, and it's deeply valued here. So thank you for continuing to share your talents and expertise here at LT.
Thank you, President Gretsch. I really appreciate it. I'll just say I'm really grateful to continue to work alongside a board that remains absolutely convicted in cultivating the high-performing, the comprehensive, and the welcoming and inclusive environment that we want for every single student here at LT. I've said this before, I don't ever take that for granted because that's not the case in every community. And, you know, with the board support, we continue to be aligned and committed to such critical work regardless of the social, environmental factors, whether that be at the local level, the state level, the federal level, that can oftentimes lead school districts astray from what their core focus is. And then I also just fully recognize that the board support of me is really a direct reflection of the work that our leadership team does and our whole staff does on a daily basis to support our students and our community. And of course, as we've said around the table, I'm extremely proud of all that our community has accomplished. Our team knows that we have way more work to do in the years ahead. And so thank you, and know that, you know, I'm actually ending my 11th year here at LT, which is crazy to believe, but I just feel extremely grateful to be able to continue to serve this amazing school community.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Appreciate that.
All right, anybody else want to chime in? No? All right. Thank you. So next is the consideration of approval of proposed amendments to the DWC intergovernmental agreement. Dr. Waterman, please walk us through this.
Yeah, no, thank you, President Gretsch. So yeah, this might be a little confusing. I sent the information to the board about a month ago because it can be confusing, but we are a member of the DuPage West Cook Regional Special Education Association, which there are 92 member districts in DWC. This is an organization and a board that's been critical in developing programming needs for our deaf and hard of hearing students and our visually impaired students within really the entire Chicago region. So through our relationship with LADSI, Executive Director Ambule is our representative on the DWC board, and then she also serves as a representative for all of LADSI's member districts. Over the last several years, the DWC board has really transitioned from overseeing the daily operations of all the programs, approving budgets, hiring staff, assessing fees, all of that. They've transitioned away from doing that really to more of an advisory and an informational board. So DWC does not maintain any assets or liability, does not collect any assessments from its member districts. All of those duties, the budgeting, the hiring, and everything, are now the responsibility of the boards that are directly overseeing the programs. In our case, that's LADSI. So they've been on this transition to really move away from being a board to just an oversight committee. And so in February, the actual DWC board passed a resolution to amend its intergovernmental agreement to eliminate the board and have it act as that oversight committee. So under this new arrangement, I'm simply asking, and as a member of DWC, I'm asking the LT board tonight to act on that resolution that resolves the proposed amendments to the original DWC agreement. And again, this resolution just approves amendments that eliminate the formal board and have it instead serve as an oversight committee. So starting in February and running all the way probably through the end of the year, all 92 member districts will pass this same resolution to kind of formalize the arrangement. So a few weeks ago, I shared this in an email. It had the red line version, it had the clean version as well, and certainly happy to answer any questions that the board has.
Yeah, thank you for walking through all of that.
Do you anticipate any of the other 94 districts having any opposition to this, or this should be pretty,
Yeah.
I mean, it makes sense
So
to me,
so
right?
far, everyone has passed it that have put it on their agendas, but we don't anticipate there being any opposition
issues?
to it. Yep.
Okay.
And again, it's Ally and LADSI that kind of serves as our representative on this.
That's great.
Thank you.
That's very straightforward.
No other
Good.
questions?
That's it, yeah.
All right. Then can we please have a motion for the resolution approving proposed amendments to the DWC intergovernmental agreement as presented?
So moved.
Seconded.
Could you please call the roll, ma'am?
Member Strewing?
Yes.
Member Thomas?
Yes.
Member Alvarez?
Yes.
Member Vita Daniels?
Yes.
Member Dillon?
Yes.
Member Giannotti Fry?
Yes.
Member Gretsch?
Yes. All right. And now we're already at our consent agenda then. So the consent agenda tonight includes the following items. The payment of bills and financial statements for LTHS and LADSI for the month of March 2025. Human resources items for LTHS and LADSI. Review and approval of the resolution of appointment to DePage Area Occupational Education System Board of Directors for 2025-26. Senior Honors Day Declaration 2025. Review and approval of the meeting minutes, open and closed sessions, and overnight student travel. Can we have a motion to approve the consent agenda, please, as presented?
So moved.
Second?
Marilyn, would you please call the roll?
Member Thomas?
Yes.
Member Alvarez?
Yes.
Member Beta Daniels?
Yes.
Member Dillon?
Yes.
Member Giannotti Fry?
Yes.
Member Struing?
Yes.
Member Gretch?
Yes. Okay. The final agenda item is the second opportunity for public participation.
I have no requests to speak.
Okay, all right, well, that's it then. May I please have a motion to adjourn the meeting?
So moved.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? All right, well, thanks, everybody. Appreciate it.
Good night. Students, we'll see you Thursday.